Well, 12 News is your election headquarters. From Newton to Hamshire-Fannett and Groves to Lumberton. We watched today as bond propositions brought voters to the polls. They had to decide the fate of everything from jails to wastewater treatment plants. And not everything passed. A plan to renovate and reopen the Newton County Jail failed.
Yeah, we'll go to Newton County in minutes to weigh the implications there. But first, we have to talk about Hamshire-Fannett ISD. The school district wanted voters to sign off on plans for a new concession stand. Parents and many administrators have been pushing to replace the 40-year-old building with a $1.4 million concession pavilion. And this was a back-and-forth race all night, a really close one. Check this out. In the end, it appears the bond has passed, but only by 5 votes. And tonight, administrators and many parents are relieved.
12 News reporter Amelia White is live tonight with those reactions.
Last year, but this year it passed, but barely. The old concession stand will officially be demolished and replaced with what the district is calling the concession pavilion. This is a $1.4 million investment. Aside from having the opportunity to purchase food, a restroom and dressing room will also be in the new building. Many in the school district expressed the need for this proposal due to the rapid deterioration of the old concession stand. Superintendent Dwayne Augustine says they felt that they had to take the issue back to voters this second time.
What we do as a district, we survey and find out what our needs are, and that's the impetus of us doing anything. And so if the need is there, the board votes to go to the community for that need, which is what happened in this case, and so that's how we got here.
Superintendent Augustine says now that it passed, he has his marching orders. Parents are relieved too. That means no more serving concession stands from under a tent. Now parents and students will have one more football season without the new facility, but Superintendent Dwayne Augustine tells me they plan to have the new concession pavilion up and ready by December of next year. Live in Hamshire-Fannett, Amelia White, 12 News.
All right, Amelia with us. Thank you so much. The results are also in tonight from Newton County. We mentioned that when voters there decided they did not want to renovate and reopen the county jail.
The proposal on the ballot also included a new justice center at the facility with space for the district attorney, sheriff's office, and a new courtroom. Here's how those votes fell. 62% of voters were against the proposal and 38% supported it. These are our final numbers. Some voters told us that the cost outweighed the benefit for them. And Newton County Judge Kenneth Weeks says the jail is currently at capacity with only 11 cells. The renovated county jail would have been able to hold 96 inmates.
You know, I'm not going to say vote for it or against it, but you should really think about the future of Newton County and what advantage this would be if the bond did pass for the citizens and the safety of.
Judge Weeks says tonight's vote is significant because it could shape the county's future when it comes to safety and infrastructure. So we'll follow up to see what happens next.
In Lumberton, voters approved a new wastewater facility. The current wastewater plant is 27 years old. This is 7 years longer than it was intended to last. The Lumberton Municipal Utility District, the MUD, had said that all along that voting yes would mean more growth for that part of Hardin County, and voters agreed, handing the MUD a hearty win. 58% of voters backed this proposal for the new water plant today. The head of the utility district says the new plant will also help them do a better job of meeting state regulations. The district tax rate will only rise 10 cents. That comes out to roughly $8.50 per month per $100,000 assessed value.
Well, from water to fire, firefighters in both Groves and Port Neches got the go-ahead from voters to unionize. 2 propositions in both cities passed. Now, voters in both of those cities signed off on Props A and B. They allow for collective bargaining and for changes to the city charters. It'll be a big change for the 2 cities in Mid-County. The collective bargaining will cost the city more money to fund the services, but voters overwhelmingly backed the propositions. All received more than 80% of the vote.
Well, Bevel Oaks will soon have a new mayor. As you can see here, Barbara Emmons won, defeating Jennifer Joyce tonight. Emmons previously served on the city council. She told our news partners at the Beaumont Enterprise that flood mitigation is her top priority.
Well, now to the statewide constitutional amendments. All 8 passed by pretty large margins.
Yes, these were passed as bills during the prior legislative session by lawmakers, but they required voters' approval. Voters overwhelmingly said yes to allowing residents at nursing facilities to have a designated visitor despite any pandemic. And in the event of something terrible like that again, voters also said that no government entity could ever forbid churches from gathering. That is something we saw in the early stages of the pandemic last year. But most propositions were simple revisions to the state constitution.
Again, most of these constitutional amendments are pretty routine, pretty basic. They're sometimes called housekeeping items. The legislature can't just change certain parts of the Constitution. It's got to go to a statewide vote.
Well, now lawmakers will still need to figure out just how to implement some of these new measures. And we have all of the election results on our website, 12newsnow.com.